All right, let's close the loop and install Docker on WSL2 and get a Quill project down and using this container to compile and see what we can do with that. All right. So a couple of things you need to keep in mind. Some prerequisites. You need to have WSL2. You need to install this, there we go, this Linux kernel package update. Here are the, where the prerequisites listed right here. Oh, there they are, actually. So yeah, so we need to install this Linux kernel update package, which we did last time. It's just something for WSL. But anyhow, let's try to get this done. Get Docker. So you download the regular Docker for Windows, apparently. And let's wait for that to close. Which it should be doing shortly. All right, here we go. Let's open it up. Yep. Install required Windows components for WSL2. Add shortcut to desktop. Okay. What? Log out of Windows. And we're back. Or we logged in again. And Docker is coming up for us, or we can open it up. I think it did automatically open up the first time. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, it's in here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we see there are no containers running. Actually, when it just came up a second ago, it asked for a tutorial, but here it is running. So let's open up WSL and let's see if we can get this thing running. So let's see Docker. Oh, there it is. So if you go to this computing.md file, what you can see is that you can run the databases from inside the containers themselves, or what you can do, you can run the build from the container itself, or what you could do is you could run the build from outside the containers, and you could run only the databases in the containers. And this is actually what I suggest you do. The way to do that is fairly simple. So you have to add this stuff. This is just a list of ports and hosts. These are environment variables used by the Quill Docker script. So you add this to your bash profile or Z profile or whatever you're using. So let's just do that. Bash RC. Go to our bash RC. And let's put that here. Okay. So now we'll do that. And then what we could do, well, either we could source it or open up a new shell. There we go. So now what we could do is we could start up Docker. Now, we can, let's have a look at the exact command to do that. So the way that you do that is, so you run this. So it basically takes down Docker Compose if it's running, starts up Docker Compose, and sets up these ports. But what you'll want is one additional thing. In fact, I do this so often, I'll introduce an alias for it. Let's say let's do that. And then the other thing that I like to add there is forcing the rebuild of the containers, which is this. So basically, this will also cause the rebuild for the containers. So oh wait, no, hold on. We have this already. RM service port setup. Yeah, that should do it actually. So again, let's open up a new shell so that it runs that thing. And let's do it. Oh, there's the alias there. I don't even see it there. Okay, that's fine. Let's run this command. And let's try running this. Oh, okay. Network Quill default not found. Docker credentials. Docker credential desktop not installed or not available in path. Well, that's interesting. All right. Well, I do happen to have a Docker account, so let's try putting that in. Okay. I'm signed in now. Let's try it again. Still failing. Visualization error, Docker credential desktop.exe not installed or not available in path. Okay, let's look up this issue. Okay, so it looks like what you have to do if you encounter that particular error is to do this rm.docker/config.json. There are some other answers here in this 7495 issue, but that seems to be the way to get rid of that problem. The simplest way, it seems to be. So, all right, we're pulling our containers. So, we're pulling down our containers. And let's wait for that to finish. Okay, so we had a error with pull. EOF. Interesting. Well, let's look this up. Actually, come to think of it, let's try it again. Let's just try it again, see what happens. Yeah, this is a gigantic container, unfortunately. It's the Docker Oracle container for Oracle 18. Yeah, probably a good idea to go for a coffee break about now. Okay, looks like we have another problem. See if we can grab it again. So it looks like it took several times to actually get this thing to load correctly, because of timeouts and various things. But anyway, now we're starting up the containers, or we're building them at least. Okay, another error. Let's check what Cassandra version this is. I'm guessing that doesn't exist. What is the Cassandra version? Let's have a look. ENV Cassandra version 3.11.7, which what, doesn't exist anymore? Fun. Hmm. Okay. Let's see what does exist. 3.11.8. Okay, well, I guess we will update this. Alright, well, now since we've modified it, it should work. And you shouldn't have to do that, by the way. I'm going to commit this to the code base later. Yes, yes. Allow access. So now we wait for the databases to start up one by one. All right, so our databases are ready. We could do Docker yes and see that they're running. Let's see if we can do something else, though. I want to use the Linux data grid. In fact, what I'd like to do is I would like to get it running via the Docker, the IntelliJ toolbox, which I have here. Let's try to run that. So, installing the IntelliJ toolbox is very useful because you can basically install and update different IntelliJ products quite easily. So let's grab data grip from here as opposed to downloading it manually. Okay, let's open this thing up. Okay, I don't care anything about this right now. Okay. So, file, new, project, build databases. Okay. Data source. All right. Well, let's start connecting to some of these databases. Let's try Postgres first. What did we set up here? We set up okay. All right. So Postgres is on 15432. So this port is actually exposed, and you can do it to find the password for Postgres. Check the check the project. The build. The build. Setup databases.sh. And, setup dbscripts.sh. And let's see, is it here? Setup Postgres. There we go. So we create some databases here, or this is what essentially we ran when we set up our Docker. And let's see, where's our credentials? Here, actually, you can find most of the passwords that are created by the default databases here. But I believe for Postgres, it's also just Postgres. Let's give that a try. Oh, yes. Download install driver files. Let's try that. Yes, good. Apply. All right, and here we go. We are connected to the local Postgres instance. And there haven't been any schemas created, so we don't have anything for that yet. But we can go on to connect to some other databases, like let's connect to MySQL. And we can see the credentials here. Let's see, I believe it's empty password. Is there an empty password for the driver? Is it? I think it's 1 second. The other place where we can check for that is the the application.conf. And then here we go. Database test. Let's look at any one of these should do, because it's all using the same instance of the database. So the user is root. Password is empty, I think. Now, what's the URL? MySQL host, MySQL port, /Quill test. Oh, and also the port needs to be this guy, right? Because that's what we exposed it as. So that's going to be that. Yes, so there's MySQL. We can continue to set up some other databases, like, oops, let's see, what else? Let's set up SQL Server. And it is running on port 1433. And let's see. SQL Server. Password is Quill Rocks. Database name is Quill Test. And, oh, by the way, this doesn't show the URI, but so actually in, no, you don't have to enter it this way. You could enter it here, Quill Test, and it knows how to make the JDBC string for you. IntelliJ data grep is good for all sorts of things, including that. And what's the username? Username is SA. Download drivers. Connect, apply. Okay, so we can go on to, oh, what? SA and Quill Rocks. That should be the password. Yep, there we go. Oh, and it looks like some entities have already been set up for us. Wait a minute, Postgres. What other databases? PG catalog. Oh, Quill test. That's what we're looking for. That's why we didn't see anything there earlier. It's Quill test that we want. Okay, let's see. Quill test, schemas, public. Well, there are tables. Let's try to run some Quill tests. Let's see. So let's try it. Let's try test compile. And this is actually excluding the Oracle stuff. That has to be explicitly enabled via SWOOL. So now let's try to run the tests. Okay. Well, looks like it was able to run the tests, which means that it connected to the database, did all the inserts and updates, and now we can successfully test Quill. Let's try one more module. Let's try this one. Let's try to test this. That was an interesting test, by the way. The streamer blow up spec was a test that makes sure that the result set is streaming by outputting so many result sets that the JVM would blow up with an out-of-memory error. Anyway, it looks like everything passes, so we're done. We're good to go.